Creations, Reefs and Things. I'm back tonight. I was in my basement, my work area, and I was starting to work on a reef, as you can see it, and I forgot. Hey everyone, this is Katrina from Theme Creations, Reefs and Things, and I'm back. I was in my work area working on the reef, and I realized I wasn't recording it. So hey, here we are. I am working on my Reindeer Wreaths, which are one of my best sellers. And if you notice, you have a different view today. I'm showing you a camera view going directly down so you can see exactly how it looked as if you were looking down at your reef and doing the work as well. So hey, when you come on, let me know who you are. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know if this angle works for you or not. I really would like to know, because if it does, then this will be the angle that I use from now on. I see this angle being used several times by different other wreath makers. So I wanted to know if you guys like it when I do it too. And if you do, let me know. So we're going to do a reindeer wreath today. So if you have a candy cane wreath form like this that you get from the Dollar Tree, this is the candy cane. It's the candy cane wreath form. This is what you get at the Dollar Tree, right? It's $1. So if you have one laying around somewhere, go get it, because we can do this wreath together. So we're going to need a candy cane wreath form. I'm just trying to pull us up. Candy cane wreath form. We're going to need some burlap. And you can get this in several different colors. And I buy all of mine from Walmart. I don't bother order them because Walmart always seems to have different colors. So I have this color. I have this color. I have red, green, orange, all the colors they have at Walmart. And then normally like either I think $4.99 at Walmart. So you're gonna need, I usually use 2.5 of these to make my reindeer wreaths. You do not have to use 2.5. You can stretch your 2 and only use 2 of these instead of 2.5. I use 2.5 because if you look and see, my things are tight. I like it looking very, very tight. I like my curves looking very, very tight. Now, if you can stretch it out and use 2 of these, and it'll be much looser. It'll be big waves going through here instead of tight little ones going through. It all depends on what you want to do. Remember, this is your art. You make it the way you want to. You don't have to make it the way I'm making it. But this is just the way I make it. So when I make it this way, I need 2.5 of these bundles. Really not even 2.5. It's like 2.25. That's a little bit that I need when I get up here to the end that I gotta fill in. And it's only because, like I said, I like to the way I'm making it. I like to, sorry about that. I like to see this being real thick on my wreath. Okay? Alright, so this is one of them that I've made so far. As you can see it in the video. That's made with this right here. So this is one that I've made so far. I wanted to show it to you. That's the Rudolph the Red Nose. And there's the eye. And you can make the eye out of the black ball or the brown. I have the brown today. We're going to be using the brown. So this is the black and that's the brown. I already have the nose over here. I have the antlers, and the antlers I actually purchased at Walmart as well. I purchased a whole bunch of them last year, so I still have some left over for this year. I have what you will see here is a bell. I make a bow, and then I put a bell that jingles, which everybody tends to love. They love that fact that when they open and close their door during a holiday, you will hear that jingle. My bells came from Dollar Tree. That's where I got my bells from. I got them at Dollar Tree. So, and then when I make my wreaths, I also, I don't know if you've watched me before, you know I like to cover the back of my wreaths. So I cut a piece of felt out, I cover the back of my wreaths, that way when this is hanging on someone's door, window, or wall, it won't scratch up their wall. When they take it off, their wall will be clear and clean. They won't have to worry about any damage to their wall. So this is the cream one that I've made, and then this is the chocolate one that I've made. I wanted to show you guys how it looked when it's completely done, because I've already started this one, so I wanted you to see how it looks when you always got to do the ear. Look at the ear. The ear is so cute. You always got to do the ear in there and put the nose on. I haven't covered the back on this one yet, but I will before I put it up for sale. And I made the bow. And you can make the bow any which way. And of course this one has a bell as well. So you can make the bow any which way you want to. It's up to you. Alright, let's put these away. Alright. And then I'm going to show you how I starred the wreath. So you can see that part. I'm just going to do it with this one right here. Let's put this down here. Of course, you cut off the tag. So hey guys, when you guys come in, let me know that you're here, where you're checking in from. Let me know if this is something you're interested in learning how to do. What I do is I unroll some and I start at the bottom. You can start up here if you like, whichever way feels comfortable to you. Some people are lefties, right? It all depends. It's up to you. Remember, you don't have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. This is just a guide for you. I like to even out my end, and if you're using a brand new one, this would be tapered off, so you don't have to really worry about that. But we want to make sure our end is straight. And what I do is I take it and I put one end underneath this loop here, this wire here. So you see how it has this wire and this wire, and we're going to put it right in between this wire, and then we're going to take this other half and bring it underneath that same wire. So now you have it hooked on this wire right here. So you got one piece on this side and one piece on this side of that wire. And that's how you have it. That's how you start it. You take your zip tie and you go underneath. And you put one end of the zip tie underneath on an angle. So you have it on an angle. See how that is? It's on an angle. You got it on this side of the wire, and then you got it on this side of the outside wire. Right? You put that in, and you tie that down. You tie that down, and you cut it off. And this is how you would start it. Now, I normally do 2 at a time. So I'm going to show you how the other one will look. I'm going to attach this one and show you how the other one will look. You roll out the second one and you do the same. You have this wire here because you're going to wrap the 2 middle wires. That's what you're going to be using. So you're not going to wrap the outside wire. You're going to wrap the 2 inside wires. You bring that in, so it's these ends are in the same hole, which is that center hole. And then you take this outside end and you just wrap the wire. You see how I just wrap the wire? See that wire in between? And you just wrap these ends on the outside. You take another zip tie and you do the same thing on that end. I don't know what my zip tie went. We can get another one right here. And we want to go under again. Under and to that outside again. So you have the zip tie to the underneath and to the outsides underneath that wire, as you can see underneath the wire, and going to the outside, and you tie it up. You cinch it, and then here you go. You got these 2 pieces here on this side of the rail, and these 2 pieces on this rail. So you see how they separate? This rail and then this rail. Right? So what I do is I normally bring these 2 together in the middle, line these 4 up together, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I line them up together. As you can see, I place my hands in. I got a grip on this side, and then I got a grip on this side of both, and I just pull it through. Then I try to make sure they lined up again, and then I pull it through. I grab the ends again, make sure they're lined up, and it don't have to be perfect, ladies and gentlemen, and I pull it through. And I continue to do this until I feel like it's tight enough for me. Now, like I said, you don't have to do as much as I do if you don't want your curls as tight. And this gets kind of tedious because you have to make sure that they're separated. You go 1, 2, you got to get that third one, and then a fourth one. You try to have it lined up, and you pull it through. You do it again, line it up, pull it through. And then you'll get the hang of it the more you do it. You find that outside one, hit one of the middles. Oh, we lost one of the middles, so we got to find it. There go that middle. So you make sure you have 4, all 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it'll get a little twisted up. It's fine, ladies and gentlemen. It's fine. Now you see how that is? You see how that just ruffles right in? You open it up a little bit. Look at that. Now you can stop here. Like if this is good enough for you, you can stop here. It don't have to be as tight as I have it here. You see how I have it really crunched in? That's just me. I like that look. You can leave it where it's like this. It's a little bit more fluid. If that's how you like it, then you go on to the next one and you pull it through until to the desired shape that you like it to be. So we're going to put this aside because we already got one that I've started and almost finished now. I don't want to keep you guys here too long. So I just wanted to show you this as well. I got to the end of one row. This is the end of one row. Let me just fix this here. This is the end of one row, as you can see. See the seam? I don't know if you can see the seam well. There's a seam here. Let me move my hand. Maybe you can see it. You can see the seam. There you go. You can see the seam. What I did was I just took a little dab of glue on the new one that I was starting and just pressed it down and connected. That's all I did. A little, don't put a lot of glue, just a little bit of glue. Because even when you look at it right now, you really can't see the glue that much at all. And that's what you want. You want just enough glue to hold it together and you let it dry. Because when you scrunch it up and it's scrunched up in a reindeer, you can't tell that that's glued. So that's how I just continue on with another row. You do not have to do this part. That's just me. I'm a little extra. I like it to look seamless. This is what I do. So I'll connect the two. You can just end that one row and then put the two sides of put one in like this again, and then start pulling again. You do not have to connect them. It still will look good. But if you want to connect them, I wanted to show you how I have done the connection with just a little dab of glue here, and that's it. So now we're going to pull it through. So I'm going to show you this time. I'm just going to show you with just this row right here. I'm going to show you because when I first started doing this, I did them one at a time. I did one roll on one side at a time. As I got more comfortable with it, then I started doing 2 rolls at one time. So I'm going to show you how the one roll is. The one roll is you still, remember you got that bar in the middle and you're wrapping the bar with the 2 ends. These 2 finished ends. And you grab them and you pull them in. Grab them and pull them in. You try to get them as even as possible. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is art. It's not rocket science. So I'm holding it and I'm just pulling it in. Getting the 2 sides even as I pull them in. And it gets tangled up, and that's fine. Grab those 2 ends with your hand. Just grab the 2 ends and you just pull it in. Find the end again, you pull it in. Find the end again, pull it in. Now when I say pull it in, that means pull it up and down. Pull it up and down. You want to slide it down a little bit so you can make room and see how tight you want it. I like mine really tight, so I'm going to keep going. And you pulling it up and pulling it back. You're going to have these little strands and you just cut them off. It's not tight enough for me, so I pull in some more. You get the ends together and then you pull it up. Ends together and you pull it up. And then you just spread it out, trying to see if that's as thick as you want it to. I think that looks good for right now. Now we're going to work on the other end. So you just push this over to the side. You see how I have that and I can see that bar? Now I can see the bar here. So you take this. Remember, this got to go on the inside because we got to wrap that bar. And then you take this one in, this in it. So now you got these two ends wrapping the bar. And it gets a little tricky. It's okay. It gets a little tricky because this now is going to make it a little harder for you to pull it through. And then when you pull it through, it's going to feel like it's getting all caught up. It's not. Take your time, pull it apart. It will be fine. So we're going to do the same thing. We got these two ends together. Try to get them even up. You're going to pull it up and pull it back. Get the two ends together. You're going to pull it up and pull it back. Once again, two ends together. Pull it up, pull it back. 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 You're just getting these two ends together. And you may have to see me connect this. I'm going to have to connect another one to the end of this. So you pull it up and pull it back. Pull it up, pull it back. You add it, you get it together, pinch it together. You pull it up and pull it back. Pull it up and pull it back. Pull it up and pull it back. Now when you do it separately, you got to do all of this fluffing to get it to mix together. When you pull them together, all four of them together, it just automatically blends in, and I love that. But if you want to do it separate, you can. I just showed you you can do it separate and it still comes out good. Look how full and fluffy that is. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So we're going to go to the last area here because I think that's thick enough. Let me look at that. This is where my eyeball and my nose, my ears. So I got to make sure it's nice and full. Pull it in just a little bit more. I want it nice and tight. This area right here is nice and tight because this is where my eyeball rather goes. So I want to have it nice and tight. And they get twisted up. Like this side will go on this side will come on that side. It's okay. Just take your time. Straighten it back up. This wreath is a little tedious. But the finished product, as you can see, is really, really nice. So how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing great. Today is Thursday, so it's almost Friday. Almost time to relax on a Friday. So we're going to pull out this. You see, this is almost done. We're at the end. So let me get another one. I had to cut off the one that I started for you guys. Alright, so this is the end of this one. And this is how it ended. So I'm going to show you how we're just going to put a little dab of glue. And I should have my little glue fingers, but I don't have them. They're on the other side of the room right now. I use the other one. A rotary cutter. Oh, here it is. You use a rotary cutter or scissors. Make a straight cut. And then we're going to just take the glue gun. We're going to put like a little dab, like a little smear. Not too much. Right on the edge. We're going to take the edge of this one and we're going to lay it down on it. And be careful. You know, the glue is hot. You don't want to burn yourself. So just be careful. You know, that glue is hot. Just try not to put too much. You know, pat it down a little bit. But know if you put a lot, this glue is going to come through here and you're going to feel it. So make sure you be careful when you're doing this. It's better when you have those little rubber fingers on. You can protect your fingers. So make sure you do that if you have the rubber fingers. Now you see, this is all good. Now just put a little bit of glue on. So that's going to take a couple more seconds to dry and really set in. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish this side, and I'm just gonna do one so you can see. Because when I do two, you really can't see. So remember, you're gonna have one on this end of the bar, one end on this end of the bar. You're gonna pinch it together, and you're gonna pull it in and pull it back. Pull it in, pull it back, pull it in, pull it back. You try to make sure these parts is as even as possible. Pull it in, pull it back, pull it in, pull it back, pull it in, pull it back, and so forth. Just keep going until you feel it's as full as you want it to be. See how tight that is? See, I like the tightness. You may not like it that tight. I do. Put a little, I'm going to pull it in some more because I want it tight, because this is where my nose goes. So I like it pretty tight. So now I'm going to do this side. So remember, you put one end on one side of this bar because you're working with the two middle bars. And you put the other end on the other end of the bar. And it's going to be a little tight because of the other side being done. But you just put the two together. Put the two together. You pull it up and pull it back. Same thing on this side. Same things. Just pull it together. That's all you have to do. And I'm holding this bar because it just stabilizes this end when you're pulling back against it. Okay, let's see how that looks. It feels good, nice and tight, just like I like it. And you just mix the middle up so it's just like one cohesive piece. You don't see the bar. Like if you can open it up, you can see the bar. So you don't want to see the bar. So you want to make sure you twist your pieces in, get them mingled up with each other. I'm going to set it up so you can see it. And there you go. You have yourself the beginnings of a, look at that, reindeer wreath. Look at that. So how we ended, as we come down maybe an inch or two, cut it off. One end off. Cut the second end off. Hey Teresa, thank you for joining me. Glad you could join me. If you got your candy cane reform, go get it. Go get your burlap. Let's make a reindeer together. So you have these ends here. See the ends here? Just flopping around. You're going to tuck those under with some zip ties. That's all you're going to do. Get yourself 2 more zip ties. You fold it over. And you can kind of like give it a little twist. Just to lay it down some. Find a spot on the rail. On this outside rail. And you can stick your zip tie underneath it. It's fine. Wherever you feel comfortable. It can go through it or underneath it. It's fine. It's going to hold it down. It's okay. Wherever you feel comfortable. And you see how that's laying down nice and neat. That's laying down nice and neat. It's not going anywhere. You take this side, same thing. Just a little twist. Because we're going to cover this with felt anyway. So nobody's going to see this. And we're going to cut these little zip ties off. So here we go. You got your start of your reindeer wreath right there. So what we do next is we put the nose on. Let me just, I always like to have one here for me to look at. Put the nose on. And what I do is I normally find and see where there's an open spot. See, like you look all in the front. I don't know if you guys can see that because the camera's kind of far away. But you find, you know, that will look too far. I mean, that you can put it there, but I kind of like this little round opening right here. Well, this would fit perfect right in there. And that's the nose. So you just look for a decent placement wherever you think the placement should be. And that's where you go with it. There's no real rhyme or reason. That's what you go with. Right? So when you do that, you try to make sure you got a good base for the nose to sit. You got a good area for the nose to sit. And I think that's a good spot. What do you guys think? You guys think that's a good spot? Thank you for sharing, Teresa. Good spot for the nose. You take your glue gun. And you know I love my trusty dusty, cordless glue gun. So, and then you just take the glue gun and you go all around the nose and you just stick it back in there. You make sure you want to get enough of the glue in there to make sure it's adhering all around it. You kind of push the burlap all around it. Try to get it snug in there pretty good. Give it a little blow. Make sure it dries. And there you go. You got your nose. So now we got to find an eye placement. You look around on your wreath and try to find your eye placement. I got to hold it up towards me, and that way I can see where the eye is going to go. What you guys think? Think that eye placement is good? I think that's a good spot for it. I think the eye placement right there would be great. All right, let me bring it to me so I can see how I'm going to glue that down. You find a good spot for it. Once again, you put a lot of glue at that bottom. And then you stick it down in the placement where you want it. You kind of push that burlap around that bottom. Get it snugged in there real good. And there you go. You got your nose and you got your eye on. What I like to do next is I like to put my, I guess this is the little thing that goes around their nose. I don't really know what it's called. The technical term that it's called. Like the part of their harness, I guess. So what I do is I bring it around from the back to the front, and I don't want it real tight. I don't want it to choke the reindeer. I just want it to be around where it's just a little, just gives it a little snug, a little fit where it won't come sliding off. You don't want this to come sliding off your reindeer when you sell it to someone, right? So you want to have it where it's snug enough, but not where it's squeezing the reindeer's nose. So you pull it in just enough. See, that's just enough. It's giving me like a little snug hold. So I cut this part off. So I have that and I cut that part off. And now I'm just going to glue this in. You just give it a hold for a couple of seconds. Make sure that glue adheres. Make sure it won't come loose. I want it to hold it a little bit because it is a little taut, and you want it that way. That way it won't fall off. And we're gonna twist this end around to the back, so nobody's gonna see this raw edge. So don't get nervous. Don't get nervous. So we're going to take it and we're going to twist it around to the back. And then just fluff it out a little bit. You bring it down a little bit. You place it where you want to place it. Wherever you think it looks good, wherever it looks good for you, that's where you place it at. And I don't do this to all my reindeers. Like this one right here. I'll show you this one right here. Doesn't have one. The other brown one I showed you don't have one. See this brown one here? See, it doesn't have one. So you can do it or you don't do it. It still looks good either way. I want y'all to know the difference. So don't think you have to put it up there. If you don't like it, if it's not something you like, then you don't have to put it up there. So you see the brown one with a little harness around the nose and one without. This cream one has one around the nose. That's just what I wanted to do. So just know you have an option. You don't have to put it up there if you don't want to. Just know that. Okay? Alright, so these are the antlers. We're going to work on the antlers next. And what I do is I normally pull this piece off. So it just comes right out. Take off the tag. Oh, I got glue strands all over the place. Okay. Take the tag out. Do you guys like this view? I was trying to get you guys a good view so you can really see what I'm doing and really get the feel of how it looks when you're doing it. So I'm hoping this view is great for you guys. If it's not, let me know. If it's good, let me know. And even if it's not, let me know so I can try another view. Okay, I want to make sure you guys get the best view. Okay, so these are the antlers. Now, I like my antlers to look like natural antlers on a deer. And normally on a deer, when it grows with the main, I call this bone part, this way, and have the spikes sticking out going behind it. Their antlers don't grow like that, like this. So you have to place it in here where it looks natural, right? So this is the direction that we want the antlers to go. So with that being said, these little clamps, I don't know if you can see, but they come with little clamps on them. And I use that to help me attach it to the frame when I put it on. So what I do is I actually pull that off. I pull it out some. Because as you can see, it can come out some. It's like it comes out just a little bit. And being that I'm going to put the antlers on like this, I twist it where the clamp is like this, where I can clamp it down. You want to have it where, I don't know if you can see that, the clamp is facing towards the back of your wreath. So when you turn it like this, that clamp is facing towards the back of your wreath with the antler facing the direction that you want it to face. When you do that, then I just take a little bit of glue and I put a little bit of glue there to make sure it fastens and it stays there. And I do this on both of them. And I hold it down. I open it up and I hold it down because I don't want it to be glued shut. And it may be a little bit of glue up there. Like this one got a little bit of glue up there where it may get stuck and be glued shut. So I don't want that. So I open it up and I try to make sure no glue is on the top and the bottom. That would have it connected. And that would keep it from opening up when I want to attach it to my candy cane reform. Okay. Now that's ready. Let's do the next one. As you can see, this one, you see how this is facing this way? We need it to face this way. So we pull it and we turn it so it can face this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out just a little bit because it's got like a little stick piece that's inside of there. And we want to make sure it's sticking really well. So we make sure we put it, just add a little bit more glue to it. And when we do that, we make sure it moves around. We open up that piece that snaps it to the reframe. As you can see, the piece there. I'm going to make sure it's open. And we need to blow on it just a little bit to get it to, you know, to adhere quickly. And you can use anything to make sure the glue is not sticking. Of course, this was sticking, so we have to make sure that don't stay that way because we want to be able to open this up to use it to attach it to the reform. So we want to blow on it a little bit, get it to adhere, make sure we're pushing it down to the antlers, to the antler piece. That way it stays attached to that. And we just hold it there. You got to hold it there for a couple seconds, 30 seconds maybe, and it'll be done. Have you guys heard my news? I will be at the River Fest. That's going to be happening in Canton, Georgia in September. September 25th and 26th is going to be at Etowah Park. So I hope you guys can come out to that. You can meet me in person. I would love to meet you guys, but you'll be able to see my reefs in person, feel, touch, be able to see how they look up in person more than just in a picture. Because really reefs do look much better in person than they do just in a picture. So I'm hoping you guys can come out for that. Once again, it's going to be the River Fest that they hold in Canton, Georgia at Etowah Park, and it's going to be September 25th and 26th. I'm hoping you guys can come out to that because it's going to be a great time, and everybody get to come out and socialize with everybody. I can't tell you what to do, but I will be wearing a mask because it will be a lot of people, so I will be wearing a mask. But I do want to come out and still socialize, wear a mask, but still socialize and be safe. So now we're going to see if we can find a placement for our antlers. Okay? We don't want them too far apart. We don't want them too close together. You see how we place these here? So we got to find a right placement. Right placement. Every deer is different. Some deer's the antlers may be closer, some they may be short, but you just make your deer the way you want to. So I know this first antler, I want it to be right behind where the eye is. You see where the eye is? I want it to be right here, right behind where the eye is. So I'm going to find that rail, which is right here. See the rail? And then I'm going to pinch this right over that rail. Now, I'm leaning into it because I need to see how it looked and where I need to move it to. Okay, that look like that. And I'm going to glue that down. I just want to do placement right now. So now I want this antler to be like right here, not too far away, but I want it to be a little forward. So instead of going to that back rail, we're going to come up a rail. So we're going to pick this up. We're going to find the rail. I have to put that down a minute to find the rail. Here it is. The rail is right there. And we're going to put this on that rail. And you have to feel around for it. So now we have our antlers. And what you do is you just fluff up all around where the antlers are. You just cover that bottom, and you see how you don't see the bottom. Now this one you still see because we haven't attached it and we haven't fluffed this up around it. But once we do all the fluffing, like you see here, it'll be fluffed up like that. You won't see that bottom. The bottom, I will make sure that this is glued to this. And that's what you do. You fluff up your burlap, put it all around it, and it covers all of that behind it. So what I'm going to do is turn it around here where I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pull this burlap back so I can get to this piece here. And I'm going to take it and then I'm going to add some glue right to that area that I want it to be glued to. And then I'm going to open the piece up and I'm going to attach it right to that frame. Then I'm going to take the bottom part of the antler and I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the bottom part of the antler so we can attach our burlap to that. So we're going to grab some burlap and we're just going to attach it to the bottom of that. And we're going to hold it there for a couple seconds just to make sure that burlap adheres to it, and it'll fluff up. Trust me, it'll work out fine. It'll cover that bottom. So that's how that goes right there. And we're going to we're going to attach this antler here, and we're going to work on a bow. We're going to do a quick bow. Try not to keep you guys too late on this Thursday night. It's late tonight. I know you guys have probably got your babies in the bed and you're turning in for the evening. So I'm glad you was able to follow me. Hey, Dwayne. Hey, cuz. Thanks for checking me out, cuz. If you don't mind, cuz, share my video. Share my video. Get it out there. So we're just going to fluff this up. I'm going to get it all fluffed up. So we're going to go over to the next antler. We want to look at it and make sure that's the placement that we want. I'm looking at it up right here. I think that looks good to me. What you guys think? You guys think the antlers look good? We're going to look at it straight away. I think the antlers look good. I don't want them too far apart, and then I don't want them touching each other. So I think that's just enough space because one is back here and one is up front. So normally when you look at a deer, they're identical, but a little away from each other. I don't know how they grow like that, but they do, and it's God's creation. I can't explain it. So we're going to go ahead and glue that one down. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull the burlap back so we can see the rail. Move the antler off the rail a little bit. And we're going to put the glue down here where we want to attach it to, and then we attach it right back there. I have a little glue on my hand, so it's a little hot. So be careful with your glue, because it is hot. And then we want to have some glue at that bottom. We want to attach this burlap to the bottom of that antler. So we want to get some glue down there, and we want to attach some of this burlap to the bottom. You're going to have glue strands. It's okay. Remember, this is art. It's not perfect. It's a little hot. Remember, your glue is hot, so watch how you're holding it down with your hands. Let's not be burning ourselves. Not like I just did. So you don't want to do that. All right. We got our antlers on, ladies and gentlemen. There are your antlers. There you go. All right. Now, for our ear, what I do for the ear, I find a spot where I want to do the ear. And normally, I'm going to show you on my other one. Normally, I do my ear right where that back antler is. Either right before it, right on it, or right behind it. So I like my ear to match up. So we're going to have our ear like right here. And this is how I make my ear. I take the burlap that we had, and I just cut like a, I don't know, like a C shape in it. I guess you can call it a C shape. And I make it pretty big at first. I just go around. Like I said, nothing has to be perfect. This is art. Right? Because this is what we're going to use to attach the material to. I like to use the same material that I have on the reindeer on my ear. Right? And then you got to make it the same shape. And this is just me. You don't have to do it this way. You can not put an ear up here at all if you want. I think it just gives it a little something when you add the ear. That's just me. You don't have to do this part, but I like it. So I'm looking for the shape here. I bring it down. I know I don't need that much. So I'm just going to cut around. And then I'll have this shape right here, which I'm going to try to make it a little better shape than what it is. Okay, so it looks like something. And I just take that right there. You see how that gives it a little something? So then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put just a little bit of glue. Because it's hot. Remember, it's hot. I'm used to burning myself all the time. But I don't want you guys to do that. So if you have to use the low temp glue gun, then you can use that. Don't be shy. Use it if you have to. So then you just press it up there. Just know, remember, this is open back here. So when you put your hand back there and press it, the glue is going to go through it and burn you. So be very, very cautious of where you put your hand placement when you're holding it down. I kind of hold it at the bottom and kind of press it down like this. Just lightly press it down. Then what I do is I take these ends and I kind of glue the ends. I shape my ear. You see how I made that? So now I have like a little ear. I have the little shape of the ear. I take the glue just on this very end part right here. Just on this end part right here, and I glue it down. Just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Just squeeze your glue gun just a little bit and just spread it around, because you don't need a lot of glue right here. Just need it enough to hold. And be careful, like I said, if you put a lot of glue, it's going to squeeze out when you're touching the bottom and you're going to get burnt. So you just put a little bit. Like I put a little bit so I can touch it, because it's not squeezing all out. I'm just trying to get that to stick into here, because that's going to be the shape of my ear. So then I'm looking where I want it. I told you I want it right here where this antler is. So look, that's the perfect spot for it. See how that looks? Perfect spot for an ear. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue that down next. So here I am. Got to look for a good spot where I can glue that down at. I see a spot right back there. And I'm going to put some glue back here. Enough down the sides, not too much, but just enough where I can get some burlap to attach that burlap back there. And there goes my ear. And just know you can make this bigger or smaller, whichever way you want to. I don't really think my ears need to be that big. It's just a little pop of color I wanted to have, a little design. So, and that's your ear. So now you have, I'll bring it up closer to you. The ear is right there. You got the eye, the nose. You see your antlers up there. You're almost done. So now we're going to do a quick bow. Let's pull out the bow maker. Slide this over. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, did you see my great finds that I found at Costco's and Sam's Club? Look at this 50-yard roll of ribbon, $6.97 at Sam's Club and $6.99 at Costco's. So hey, if you're into crafting, make sure you hit up Sam's Club and Costco's. I also had a video on my page about when I was at the store and I brought it, and I brought several others. So if you haven't gotten them already, make sure you hit up Sam's Club and Costco's, because they go quick, and there's so many other pretty colors that you can choose from. All right, so let's make a bow. Let's get a zip tie. Let's get a zip tie. Let's get a Chanel stem. And what we're going to do with this Chanel stem is we're actually going to cut it in half. Now, you know what? I'm just going to leave it long. Not even going to cut it in half. I'm going to leave it long. And we can cut it in the back. And then we take, remember, we put our Chanel stem down in between the two tall bars, which mine is loose right now, so we're going to work with it. Let me see if I can bang it in a little bit. But in my last video, I showed you that was coming apart, and I never did fix it. So I tapped it back in. So we put the Chanel stem in between those two bars. We put the zip tie with the flat side facing up. And then we just see how big we want to loop. We go over and we see, I think that size loop is great, right? It's not hanging out. It's not all the way up here. This is the middle. It'll come out here. You may want to make it just a little bit smaller. And that's it. Then you can go your measuring on your table and figure out, hey, how long is that? It's a 3-inch loop. So that means then it's 6 inches, right? A little over 6 inches. You want a 3-inch loop. So you take your ribbon. I hope you guys are following along and it looks good. Let me know you like it so far. You want to give it that twist, right? Remember, because you want the good side to show. So you want to give it the twist. Stick it down in there. You got the bad side showing, and when you flip it over, you got the good side showing. So you want 3-inch loops. Now we got to decide how many loops we want. I normally go for like 6. That's normally the loops I go for. It's like 6. And once again, if you want to see if they're about the same size, you pick them up. For some reason on this side, my loops always seem to be bigger. I don't know why. I check my measurements on my board and it's right, but it just seems to always be off somehow. But you're looking down at it, and it looks good. You do a twist, and you do it again. And you keep doing it to as many of these loops that you want on your reindeer bow. It's all up to you. You don't have to do 6 like I'm doing. I'm doing 3 on each side. That's what I'm doing. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You don't have to. Like, you make this the way you want to make it. Once you get the size you want, you twist. And then you do another loop. I'm doing another loop on both sides. You twist. You do another loop on this side. Let me see. Let me check my reindeer that I did before, because I like that bow that I did before. Let's see how many loops I did. I did 3 on each side. This one I did a little more. I did 4 on each side. So let's do 4. We have the ribbon. Remember, this is a 50-yard ribbon. We can do more. We don't have to be shy with the ribbon. So I did 4 loops on each side. You don't have to do that many. I'm just doing that many. And then you just cut off this part here. I don't do tails on my reindeer because I got a bell there. There's enough going on, so I don't do tails. So I cut that off. I take my zip tie, and you know what I do? I close it up. Squeeze it out, and then you know that little indentation, you got to move it over into that little indentation because that's supposed to be the center. Twist it around to the back and you tighten it up just a little bit more. You check out your loops. Your loops look like they're about the same size. You like how they look. Because at this point, if they don't, then you can kind of size them the way you want them, right? So they look about right to me. I'm not worrying about it. We're going to tighten it up all the way. Cinch it all the way. And we have our bow. And I don't know if I want this bow to be flat or I want it to be fluffy. I don't know. But let me cut out these ends right here. See these ends of the ribbon here? We can cut those out, go all the way down, cut them out, cut them on the back. And you got the little zip tie here. I'm gonna cut that off. And you're supposed to use your thin clippers, not your scissors. So don't do what I just did, because you don't want to ruin your scissors. So when you're cutting your zip ties, make sure you use your wire clippers and not your scissors. Don't do what I just did, because it'll mess up your scissors. Okay? So, okay, we have this ribbon. I mean, this bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do 4? Alright. See, that's how it looks. Move this out the way now. Get done with this. And we are just about done, ladies and gentlemen. We are just about done. So now we have this right here. Put the loops where we want to have them. Now look at that. I like it to be right down where the nose is, maybe a little lower. That's where I like my ribbon to be. And then I just take my bell. And like I told you, I got these bells from Dollar Tree. So when you see them, stock up on them. I normally clean them out. It's like, hey, I need these right here, okay? So I pull that off. I think I'm gonna leave the leaf. Sometime I take this leaf off because I really don't need it, but it matches the color on this one. It's perfect. So it's no need for me to take that off. So what I do is this little piece back here, I take it and I bring it to the back. And I take my pipe cleaner and I run my pipe cleaner through it. Run one through it on one side and one through it on the other side. And it kind of ties it down. And I give it a twist so it's not coming off. Right? Upside down. Okay, there you go. And then you just feed this through. Take your time and then push it through your burlap. So you can tie it down to your wreath form. So you find your spot. You just tie it down. Got that end down. Let's get this end down. You don't want to pull it too tight down into your reindeer. You just want the bow to kind of sit on top of your reindeer and not be really sunk down in there. So you just don't twist it too tight. Just twist it enough where it's holding its position. Like I said earlier, I always cover my back with felt so they won't see this. All of this be covered so they won't see anything in the back. It'll be covered with felt. And here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at your reindeer. You're done. What you guys think? I think it came out great. I love it. I love my reindeers. These are my best sellers. If you're interested, please go to my website, which is kathemecreations.com. Check it out. See what wreaths that you may like. You may want to order. I'm also on Etsy. I'm on Facebook under Katheme Creations, Wreaths and Things. Instagram. So hey, you check me out on all my social media. Make sure you like, you share, you follow. Definitely comment on what you saw today or any wreath that you see. I get your comments. I do answer your comments once I get off the air, or if I can while I'm doing it, I'll comment. But please also follow me on TikTok. If you follow me on Facebook, please go over to TikTok and also follow me on TikTok. The only way my business will grow is if you guys will help me out. So if you guys are doing that on Facebook, which is like, sharing, following, and commenting on Facebook, on Instagram, watching my videos on YouTube, please, when you watch my videos on YouTube, it looks better when you watch my videos all the way through. If you don't want to sit through them, I understand, but let them play through anyway. That will help the algorithm and they see my videos being watched. It'll help me being seen more. It'll help my business grow. So if you guys will help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. I told you earlier that I will be at the River Fest in Canton, Georgia, September 25th and 26th. So you guys make sure you come out and see me. Come out and meet me. I would love to meet you guys. So come out at the River Fest in Canton, Georgia, September 25th and 26th, and come out to meet me. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I enjoyed making this with you guys. Hopefully tomorrow I can come back and do another wreath with you guys. But until then, you know what I always say, until we meet again, until we make a wreath again, I want you guys to stay safe. Thanks everyone for chiming in. Bye Teresa, bye Dwayne. I'll see you next time around. You guys stay safe out there, all right? Bye.